Y'all, thank you very much. Cousins, thank you. I'm tempted to say, all my cousins, please stand up and be recognized, because there are a lot of them. Hugh, thank you very much. It's always real special for me to come to the PD, because my roots go, as you know, go way back. Mom and Daddy were both born here. Mom on Cherokee Road, my daddy on Dargan Street. And they married at the St. John's Episcopal Church. And so I'm qualified. That's what, Mayor, that's why I'm here. I'm highly qualified. This is a great thing. The others have already said most of what I was going to say, but there are a few points I'd like to mention. And I see everybody with the mask on. Reminds me, I still recognize my cousins. And by the way, I got to say that the undisputed champion, world's champion of economic development in South Carolina is right there, Chairman Hugh Leatherman. And you look at the port, you look at Boeing. Boeing wouldn't be there today if it weren't for that man sitting in that chair, and that's right. And they've just been cleared. They got the airplanes flying again. They're expanding, and the Port of Charleston wouldn't be getting dredged out, and that terminal wouldn't be built if it weren't for that man right there. Y'all know how you spell Port of Charleston? It's easy. M-O-N-E-Y. That's how you spell it. And that's what Buccees spells too, Bucky. And on the way over here, we looked up the old Ipana toothpaste ad. Bucky's, remember Bucky Beaver with the tooth? Anybody remember brush a pound for your teeth? You remember? Y'all selling toothpaste in the place too, I guess, ain't you? Well, it's hard to recognize some of these folks. Reminds me of a little joke about the man that moved to town, and he was new family coming in. He went to the big church, joined up, and they had, their policy was they like to have them do the ushering so they get to know everybody. And he'd been doing that for a few weeks, and one time after a particularly long sermon, he was helping the folks out at the big front door going down the steps, helping an elderly lady, and he says, "Ma'am, I just got to tell you that's the worst sermon I think I ever heard." She says, "Well, son, do you know who I am?" He says, "No, I don't." She says, "I'm the preacher's mama." He says, "Oh, do you know who I am?" She said, "No, I don't." He says, "Thank you, Jesus." But we all know everybody here, and this is almost like a family reunion. We've been to so many economic development projects. Is Mike on now? We've been to so many of these projects. It's a wonderful thing what is happening in South Carolina, and we go keep it up with the kind of leadership we have. We've got a beautiful state. This Buccees site will anchor an 80-acre retail hospitality component of the project. Francis Marion University, as was mentioned, is putting in their freshwater ecology research and conference center. Where is Dr. Fred Carter? Where is Fred Carter? Fred, that's another great South Carolina asset. Fred served on our Accelerate SC program to get South Carolina to keep us moving through the pandemic. And Bucky, I got to say, we never close in South Carolina. We've slowed down a little bit, but we don't close, and we almost fully back to full speed now. And you won't have to worry about businesses being closed in South Carolina. We know how to be careful without doing that. This represents a $35 million private investment, generate about 200 jobs. The family is traveling on vacation. This is going to be a real positive for this area. It will showcase, it will encourage people to stop, take a look at what we have in South Carolina. And when they do that, it's always a positive experience. And that's going to result in more people wanting to invest their millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in South Carolina. To say we have the convergence of some enormous factors that make us what we are and make us different, as business leaders from around the world tell me. They said people in South Carolina are different from anywhere in the world. And they're willing to invest millions, hundreds of millions, and billions of dollars. And so I asked them, why is that? And they said it's three reasons. It's the people, the people, the people of South Carolina. When they give you their word, to keep it. You don't even need to write it down. I know a lot of promises made to make this happen. They'll all be kept. You don't have to worry about that. We have a strong military tradition, goes back to the beginning, 8 major bases, and the Coast Guard now will concentrate in Charleston. That'll make 9. Also, the great Judeo-Christian tradition that we have here has already been expressed here this morning. And when you put those kind of traditions that have developed over the years, over the decades, and over the centuries down in the middle of a natural paradise, you get some people growing up that have traditions and a culture that results in promise and prosperity for our people, and that's what we have here. And I like to remember it was the South Carolinians and Texans at the Alamo at the last stand there. So we got a whole lot in common. In fact, they tell me if you go around the country and you look for stickers of states, they have the Lone Star, we have the Palmetto Tree. we're number one and number two in the most expressed symbols on vehicles going around the country. So we're very proud of who we are. We're proud of where we're going. And Bucky, we are delighted that you and your friends in Texas, Governor Abbott, among others, who is a splendid man, we're delighted that you are now branching out and going to be a part of our family in South Carolina. And another person here is making this happen is the man who watches the money. He also picks all the judges and as well as a number of other things, and that's Merle Smith from just down the street in Sumter. Merle Smith, Chairman Smith, come forward, please.